I'm Mike, and this is Ray over here, right there. Hey, Ray. And this is the Know Nothings podcast, number 66. There's not a whole lot to talk about, apparently.
The world is burning, Mike. Hey, look, so we're going to start this show with a bang, episode 66.
Yeah. After
47 years of being an independent, after 8 years of being a Trump hater, I never wanted to take a side. I was like, no, these guys are fucking idiots too, and these guys are fucking idiots too. I am team whatever this is. If it's MAGA, if it's the libertarian dream, which is what it seems like it is, we're on our way to abolishing the IRS, no federal income tax. All the illegal criminals are getting out of the country. Records everywhere. The border looks secure for the first time in my entire life, like legitimately secure. Right. I am picking a side for the first time in my life, and I'll still call them out. I'll still call bullshit on bullshit. There's two things so far that they've done that I don't love. We can get into those later, or we can get into them now. But the two things I don't love right now.
Go for it.
Ending birthright citizenship. I don't love it because it's in the Constitution and
push this away from you. Oh, yeah, you don't have to touch it. Just stay right there. Okay, what was it again?
He wants to end birthright citizenship, which
right.
I understand his point.
Well, let me talk about it a little bit. Okay, so I did some research, and there are companies that that you pay for, that they bring you over here while you're 9 months pregnant, and they put you in a hotel room just so your baby can be born in the United States. There are companies that do that. It's a multi-million-dollar thing. That's probably what we need to end, not birthright citizenship.
Yeah, and I understand all that. It's in the Constitution, so you have to get a whole amendment you have to amend an amendment basically.
Right.
It seems like such a hard legal fight that I don't know that it's worth it once you get, what is that? Oh, that's the clock.
It's the clock.
Yeah. Once you get like all the criminals out, once you get the people that are coming over illegally, I mean, we've got 10 or 11 or 12 million that you need to purge out of the country.
Yeah.
Once all those are out of the country, I don't really anticipate it being a big problem. It's such a huge fight. It could take up most of the administration, and I just think there's better use of time. So I'm not a big fan of that one, and I'm not a fan of the United States sending a bunch of troops over to the Middle East, taking over Gaza, spending all our tax dollars there to beautify Gaza when our cities look like a freaking inside of a dumpster.
Oh, yeah.
So those are two things that I don't. But he's throwing so much at him. It's just like fastball. You don't know what is happening. Like, you can't even get back in your stance. There's another fastball. Look,
it's great. I love it, and I have been pushed completely over into that camp. Mm-hmm. I was dead in the middle. This and that, and the other, and this and the other. There's no middle. You can't be on the middle. I've been pushed hard into the camp of like, I love everything he's doing. I go to like, have you seen that meme where it's like Peter Griffin goes and it's like, this is how I sleep every night, and he clicks on the light, and outside is like Trump on the desk, like right stuff, and he's like, and he goes to bed. That's how I feel every night.
Yeah, completely. It's like, man, it's being a libertarian, and I'm looking at this stuff. This is amazing. This is like, how is this like? Okay, you got to tell me a time when a president or a political candidate sat there and said, I'm going to do this, 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 and then
they did it,
and then did it on day one. That is the most commendable thing I've ever seen a politician do. Nobody you can. I can't name one president, and I'm pretty well read. I can't name one president that's got as much things done in 100 days that he's got done in 15 days.
Oh, I know, it's crazy.
It is a world.
I'm loving it.
Let's just look at what he's done. So, what's happened, dude? So, you've got Mexico. Border crossings are down 95%. Just let that roll around your brain for a minute. They're down 95%. Not in a 10-year span, not in a 3-year span, which even if you said, look, when I started, border crossings were here, and here I am 4 years later, they're down 80%. If you said that, I'd go, that's the most amazing job I've ever seen. It's down 95% inside of 5 days.
Yeah.
It's like 30 encounters a day.
It's awesome.
It's unbelievable. unbelievable. And they're going out in record numbers. Colombia tried to play a little hardball with us. You remember that one?
Yeah.
The president wouldn't accept the next
thing. The plane.
Next thing you know, he's sending his own presidential plane.
Yep.
Mexico and Canada.
I think he turned it down though again. I think he kind of fouled it up. I don't know. The news comes at you like everything changes every 30 minutes. And the last thing I read was that he didn't let it land, and then blah blah blah.
He didn't let ours land, but he's sending his now, and he's taking them back. Mexico and Canada. Everybody acts like we were at some war with them. There was never going to be a trade war with Mexico and Canada. That just wasn't going to happen. This was all to get what he wanted, which he got. Then he got exactly what he wanted.
Yeah. Well, hey, and also, what would it be so terrible if Canada became part of the United States?
No, I don't think. At first,
I don't think they're going to let them over there. And who owns Canada? England. Who owns Canada?
Canada owns Canada. They're a sovereign nation.
But they pay.
They used to be part of France.
France.
Yeah.
But don't they pay? Don't they pay a little extra money to the crown? That's why everything's just a little bit more there. Is that right? Or did I grow up in a different timeline where you'd look at a magazine and you'd be like, oh, Guitar World magazine is $4.99 here. Canada, it's $6.99. Why is that? Because of maybe tariffs.
It's Canadian dollars.
Canadian dollars.
Well, right. Right now, the Canadian dollar is $1.47 to buy $1 American dollar.
I really am dumb.
Yeah,
I'm really dumb about this.
So it's the exact same. The magazine's the exact same price. You're just buying it with Canadian dollars, which are worth less than American dollars.
Somebody told me, probably my dad, was like, oh, well, they have to pay taxes to the crown, or somebody told me that. And that was what that is, and that's just one of those things. When you're growing up and somebody tells you something when you're little, and you just believe that 100%, and then later on you're like, "Oh, the female orgasm is a real thing." What? Oh, okay, you're like, what? Like somebody tells you something dumb like that, you believe it your whole life, and you're like, "Oh, what? Yeah. Oh, donuts aren't made in New Zealand and shipped here." My uncle told me that one time.
Yeah, I don't know what they do with the crowd. I don't want to speak out of turn there, but I think part of my problem originally with Trump was, so when he comes up with these great, he goes, we're going to turn Gaza into the Riviera of the Middle East,
that's ridiculous.
Right?
That's ridiculous, dude.
Now I see what it's the same thing with Canada and Mexico with all the tariffs. He starts here on his negotiations,
and then it brings it down.
So if you want to sell your truck, and I'm like, hey Mike, what do you want for your truck? And you're like, I don't know. It's a pretty nice truck, Ray. 500,000.
That's crazy.
And I go, what the fuck? I'm like, well, that's just crazy. This guy's not even serious. I can't talk. And I speed away, and you call me, and you're like, hey, I'd love to talk to you about that truck if you're really serious. I'm like, bro, you said 500,000. And you're like, you're like, well, that's not the final price. And then I come back, and you're like, what about 40? And I'm like, oh, now we're getting in the ballpark.
We're getting to where it is. Yeah.
That's what Trump does, and I didn't.
Well, he's a businessman. He does that. The tactics.
Well, it is very wild, and if you don't know this about him in 2016 through 20, and also in 2016, 2020, I've talked about this before on the show. I don't think he knew how the government worked at all.
I don't. Yeah.
And I think he said, what really pissed me off about him, he said, I'm going to drain the swamp, and I didn't vote for him in 2016. He said, I'm going to drain the swamp, and he did no swamp draining. There was no draining of the swamp. You just added more creatures to this ever-growing pile of shit, or worms, as Elon's calling it at the USAID office. He said, you heard this, and he's like, there's not a worm eating an apple. It's like, except there is no apple. It's just a ball of
worms. The rat king of worms.
But not really understanding that's how. So Trump will say, he says the most outlandish thing to get what he ultimately wants. Like when he says, we're just taking over. We're just going to take over Greenland. And everybody's like, what the fuck's he talking about? Just kind of out of nowhere, he's going to take over Greenland, right? Mm-hmm. What he probably wants is to have access to Greenland. Maybe have access to if they're not mining for anything or getting anything out of there. He probably wants to. He probably wants to get those minerals or go after them, or he probably wants to add more military there as a strategic play. So you just start with, we're just gonna take it over. Denmark's gonna give it to us. They need to give it to us, and then through negotiations, I can't do this.
I'm working. You came early. It's 4:00. I have to work. I've got people and people and people and people.
I forgot my train of thought now. Oh, so he's going to tell. So he says this outlandish. Says this outlandish thing.
Look, I'm working. I gotta work. It's a work day, Ray. It's a work day, and it's 4:00, and I work 24/7. This is what I do. I'm
grind.
Somebody just asked me if they could have tomorrow off, and guess what?
Let them know. Let them know.
I'm just gonna tell them yes. You can have tomorrow off until I call you and make you work tomorrow.
I'll call you in an hour, and we'll.
Yeah, I'll tell you that you got to do something in an hour. Go ahead.
So I don't know that he says this crazy thing, and that's to end up where he wants to end up. Like, I don't think that Canada he might want to make Canada the 51st state, but he also just might want Canada to provide the protection we need for our border. He might want Canada to to make sure they're not letting fentanyl come over. Say Greenland. He's not going to tell you. We're not going to because if we started building a goddamn Riviera and Hamas, I'm losing my shit. I'm going nuclear about dude, America's still broken. Like, it's been a good 2 weeks.
Let's roll into Chicago and kind of build something there.
But I think what he's doing there is he's saying that, and I think what he wants is to go, because Israel was, when he said that, Netanyahu was kind of like, what's this guy saying? And I think he was wanting to, why he's saying, the U.S. will just own it and we'll just turn into the Riviera. He wants Israel and Gaza to come up with a 2-state solution, talk to each other, work together, think, hey, let's figure out something to do with this land. And he wants them. Now he's giving them the idea, hey, develop it, jackass.
Yeah. Let's turn it into something where you all can benefit.
Yeah, y'all develop it, and maybe we can help you with that. But we're not. If we start sending, it would require boots on the ground. They're not. I doubt they're just going to give it to us. If you show up and start building, they're gonna come in and start bombing because you're taking 2 million people out of their homes.
Yeah. And
you're telling them. And I don't know how you do that either. That's like ethnic cleansing.
I'm so dumb on the whole stuff going on over there. I just know that, shit's fucked up. Shit's fucked up. Like, I just know that they're all fighting over that piece of land because God said this is your land, and then God said this is your land to the other guys, and so they're fighting.
Jews and Muslims
fighting over that piece of land.
And
is it a great piece of land?
It's a beautiful piece of land. You can turn it into something huge, Mike.
Yeah.
Huge.
Huge.
I mean, we're gonna turn it. It's gonna have beaches. Trump's envisioning condos. Trump towers everywhere.
Wait a second.
Golf courses.
Can ladies wear beach clothes
in
over
Israel?
there? Well, in Israel they can.
Well, in Israel, the Jews. They're not they're totally westernized. That's the problem. You've got a country that's one little place, Israel, one little dot on the map that's westernized, and right beside it you've got the Muslim culture, and those two cultures just don't. You can see that they don't mix. They're not mixing in England. They don't really mix here. We try to be a melting pot, but we're not going to accept Sharia law.
No, we all live here, but we're all living in our own parts here.
Each state's like a country.
Pretty much, people live with the people that they either economically or socioeconomically or racially people live around.
I'm a huge proponent of cultures mixing, and I think America being a melting pot is what makes it what it is. But obviously, you can see especially you've got militant Jews and militant Muslims. That damn sure ain't gonna work.
No.
But there's 2 million people that live in that Gaza Strip. 2.2 million live in the Gaza Strip, so it's not a small area.
How long does it take? Thousands of years until we're all an olive color. How long does it take for us all to mix together until we're one color?
I thought we'd. Oh, I don't know if that.
You know what I mean?
We'd be close to that though, close to kind of olive everyone.
Yeah. How long do you think that would take?
Well, hell, it's been 144,000, 150,000 by best accounts, and so it's taken 150,000, and we're not even close to that. And you got to think there's people that are never, ever gonna breed with somebody of a different race. There's cultures in that, and
you don't think any of that'll fall to the wayside in 200,000 years?
Oh,
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
It would be so hard to pinpoint. It would be
them are all going to look like the gray aliens. Well, because they're from the future.
History in 1,000 years to me. I don't think looks at the 2000s as this brilliant. Now they're going to look at what's happening now. What's happening now to me is a second American Revolution. We're taking the goddamn country back.
We are.
It is. That's what's so inspiring. It's like just the fact that he said he was going to do all these, and the rapid pace that he this makes me have so much respect. Like, you just got to get by the rhetoric. You just got to figure out how to get over the rhetoric, or the fact that he just kind of, and he's not real detailed in his speech or his thought patterns.
Right.
So I think I wish J.D. Vance would be the messenger, but I love Trump as a messenger because I love him as a stand-up comic.
Right.
I love him as like an entertainer, or like a figure. You want to hear what he's going to say because it might be ridiculous, and he gives no shits, right?
Right.
And that was kind of my thing, not liking Trump. I'm like, I want my president to seem like the smartest guy in the room. I want my president to be together. I want my president to be like J.D. Vance. That's just what, and this is just my narrow vision of what I felt like a president should be.
Right.
So I have to admit that, that shortcoming in me, that maybe it's just something I wanted, but it's not best for the country. Maybe what's best for the country is a freaking wrecking ball,
right,
off the rails, drunk sailor on leave, which is what Trump is. I'm saying I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And if it's too out there, I'll use it for a negotiating tool. Just take a sledgehammer to it. Now he'll skirt the line too. He's not scared. Like where that legal line is, he'll walk right up to it.
Up to it.
Yeah,
dip his toe over a little, maybe. Try to.
And
what I don't get is like people are like, oh my God, he's doing this, and it's like, well, executive order, and it's like, okay, well, there's judges and stuff that have stopped things, and they stop them. There's a whole checks and balances system going on. People don't just because like it's a headline, doesn't mean that the shit's gonna happen, because a lot of people are against him, and there's judges that'll block it. There's Democrats and all this stuff. It's like the whole checks and balances system of everything. And what the things that they haven't fought him on, don't kid yourself, they want those things too. Or they would have like blocked him. Now, this you said thing, they are really upset about, because it's like that's been their blank check to make everybody they know rich and them rich too. So they're all like, oh no,
he's got our Social Security
numbers, all this stuff. They're all so. When you see all them freaking out like that, something's up.
That's the enemy.
That's the enemy.
The guy, if Mike robs a bank, and I see Mike robbing a bank, and I call the police and I'm like, yo, Mike Hinkle is robbing a bank. I know where he lives because I podcast with him. He's one of my best friends. He's robbing a bank. I got eyes on him. And then imagine.
He also has a band called Hinkle. Look it up on anything. Okay, go ahead.
Then imagine everyone got mad at me for turning in the bank robber.
Right.
That's what's happening.
That's what's happening.
They're going
it's insane.
What? And they're like, Elon's got our Social Security number. What's he gonna do with my Social Security? What do you think Elon Musk's gonna do? Take out a loan in your name?
In your name? He's a billionaire, idiot.
400 billionaire. You think he's gonna take your grandmother's Social Security, her $1,300 check?
I don't want Elon Musk having my. I'd probably give Elon Musk my Social Security number and be like, hey, bro, can you help me out a little bit with something?
One of the main reasons, 2 reasons that really got me over on Team Trump. 2 main reasons. RFK Jr. Being on the ticket and saying he was going to make America healthy again, and coming out with all those fantastic initiatives. And I loved RFK. He was my guy. And the second one was when he said, I'm going to get Elon Musk here to go through every department in the government, line by line, and we're going to find all this fraud. We think we can find $1 trillion. Actually, he said we think we can find $2 trillion, but now we know that's kind of not possible.
It's kind of not possible.
But he's going to find when I heard, and I said, well, Elon's done things that no one's done.
Right.
I believe if anyone could do this, it's him.
Right.
I'll vote. What the one thing I've always wanted since I was a kid, I've never understood how. I just thought that all this corruption goes on, right? We all just thought it, but we had no idea the depths of it, the depths of the demons that these people are, right? Mm-hmm. So I just always thought, man, if somebody would can anybody be a good guy and tell us what's happening? And they say, we got a good guy, he's going to tell us what's happening. And I'm like, I am supporting you for this one reason. And then for you motherfuckers to get up there and say, no one voted for Elon, fight me in the street, bro. Like, I fucking sure as hell did. And everybody I know, they voted for, they were like, oh hell, I didn't know one person that didn't say, during the election. Oh, hell yeah, you hear what Elon's going to do? And now he's doing it.
Right.
And you're trying to act like they're running some secret, covert, middle-of-the-night mission. No, he's just working when you won't work.
Right.
He's just working around the clock. And he'll outwork your ass, and he's smarter than you, and he's got some 20-year-old nerds that are smarter than you.
Right.
And they broke. You wouldn't give him the information, and he breaks the code in 3 minutes because he's a fucking super genius. And you don't know whether to shit or scratch your ass.
I like the story on Joe Rogan where he was like talking to somebody, and he said he was telling Elon Musk left the when they were when everybody was during the election that night. Elon had an app that he said he developed, and he was like, "Trump won, I'm leaving."
Yeah,
and he like 2 hours before it was called, he was like, Trump won, I'm leaving." Well, he developed his own app to know what it was.
You know what the left is saying now, right?
That he did.
If he can, I saw today a tweet. I saw a tweet today, so it's got to be a fact.
Yeah, that's right.
This person on Twitter, I wish I had their username because they must be a source. They're like, I know now beyond a shadow of a doubt. They know beyond a shadow of a doubt that if Elon can break into the Treasury computers that fast, he can break into the voting machines of all the swing states, and Elon rigged the votes in all the swing states, and that's how Trump won. Something must be done.
Oh, that's crazy because Trump won everything. The popular vote and it's nuts. Hey, when you got a limp dick for all those years as president that's doing nothing, that they're like giving shots to before he walks out, and they're giving him like methamphetamines and shit, so you can be like, "Oh, hey man, come on now."
So he can get a sentence.
Hey, come on, man. We're gonna do the thing, I'm gonna ride a bike and fall over, and I'm gonna do the thing. Yeah, what's going on with that?
I was waiting on the Republicans to give me the bill. They won't pass the border bill. I've been dying to do something with the border. You
crotchety piece of shit.
Please get out of here. And by the way, I'm gonna pardon my entire family because of the dealings we've been doing for the past 4 years. I'm gonna pardon everybody, even though there's nothing. Nobody said anything yet, but they may because Daddy's home, and they're gonna go through all the receipts, and I better pardon my family.
I better give Fauci a pardon back to 2014.
No, yeah.
I'll pick an exact. How about October 5th, 2014? Like what are we doing? So there's got to be something that we know what's going on. Now we're finding out. USAID was funneling the research in the Wuhan lab.
Global Health works on issues like infectious disease, maternal and child health, and food security. That's one of the things they work on.
The USAID was sending $2 million for Moroccan pottery classes. You know how long they've been doing pottery in Morocco? 6,000, 7,000
since the beginning of time.
They're like pottery experts.
Yeah. Why do we have to send relief to them for pottery?
It's like the USAID giving Louisiana $3 million to encourage whitetail hunting. Like, we don't need we're good on that, bro. Like, people are gonna hunt them. They know we got it. $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia. Like, I know it's only $47,000. Well, that's and then
why didn't it? Well, if you're gonna spend that kind of money, can't we get this on Netflix so we all can enjoy it? Why can't we all enjoy it? It probably never happened.
Netflix is
well, the thing is it never happened.
Half this shit never happened.
This shit was just like, here's the money, and it never happens. It goes into somebody's pocket.
You know, the USAID is 0.7% of the budget. That's what these congressmen are coming. The left congressmen are coming out on Twitter.
Let me read to people what USAID is. Just so people will know, because
what
I know
it claims
a lot of
to
people,
be, or what it really is.
There's probably some good stuff.
This is what ChatGPT says it is.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't know how ChatGPT swings. Does it fall hard in the middle? I'm not sure. It should. Okay. So the United States Agency for International Development is an independent agency of the U.S. federal government. It's responsible for
the first problem. Independent. No oversight.
No oversight. Responsible for administering foreign aid and development assistance. Established in 1961, USAID's mission is to promote global stability, economic development, humanitarian assistance, and democratic governance. Don't we have systems that are already in place for all of that already, though?
Did it say and to establish the new world order?
Yeah, right. That's exactly what it is. So the key functions are disaster relief and humanitarian assistance. Yeah. Don't we have something else for that? Is that all over the globe? Is that provides aid during natural disasters, conflicts, and health crises? Don't we have FEMA for that? Which is useless.
FEMA's for the
and they're getting the hack.
FEMA's for in America.
Right.
Only.
Global Health works on issues with infectious diseases, maternal and child health, and food security.
And look, some of these things.
I got 3 more.
Oh, good. What else?
Economic growth supports trade, investment, and infrastructure development in partner countries. That just sounds like a bunch of rigmarole bullshit.
It's lawyerese. Like,
it's lawyerese.
Just
put
a bunch of words together.
Democracy and governance.
This is how Kamala talks.
Yeah,
right.
right.
I just say
promotes
words.
human rights, free elections, and anti-corrupt initiatives.
All sounds great.
Anti-corrupt initiatives, like that means nothing.
All sounds great.
Education and innovation funds educational programs and technological advancements in developing nations. It's like so broad. It's like the broadest shit I've ever heard in my entire life.
And that's by design, right?
Right, 100% by design.
It's not set up by
hey,
stupid people. It's set up by crooked people.
Have you ever seen where somebody said they were going to close down something and every single person ran to the doors and were like, "Let us in. We gotta shred the material." And they were like, "You can't come in here." This was the Democrats. They ran to the doors. They were like, "You can't come in. We're like going through all the shit back here. You're going through the shit. I need to get in there because I left my wallet and I got a shredding machine in my backpack." Oh fuck, we're fucked.
I have to say, how can anyone? I'm not kidding here. I'm not being funny. How can anyone with a functioning brain not see the obvious? I'm not saying Elon's perfect or Trump's perfect. Maybe they're going to make some missteps along the way. I'm talking about this one particular initiative. If you were to say, I don't care who you were, just anybody comes out and says, "Hey, people, I've got an idea. What we'd like to do is just we're going to audit the entire federal government, and we're going to look for things that have been spent poorly, and we're going to try to reappropriate your money and make sure it's spent better." I would expect, honest to God, 100% of the people to say
100% should say that's a great idea.
That's a great idea.
Great idea.
100% of the people should say, "Well, absolutely, that's a great idea." Well, they ran on that, and literally, 51% said that's a great idea, but there's still.
Are you good?
Yeah, there's still 95 million.
You're good.
Yeah,
you're good. Okay, sorry, I thought the camera got messed up.
There's still 95 or 100 million people that did not vote, and if you went to those 100 million people who don't follow politics at all, right? Mm-hmm. And you were like, "Hey, we think you've been fucked, and what we'd like to do is audit this fuckery and find out if there's any inappropriate, and then we're going to remove the bad stuff, and then we're going to leave all the good stuff. What do you think about that?" And you said, "And we're going to get an independent person who was a Democrat for 50 years to head it up, but now he's been independent for the past 5, and then he did switch over and he voted for this other guy." The people that don't follow politics would go, "That sounds great." They go, "Oh, and we're going to make it super transparent. We're going to tweet everything we're doing. We're going to have everything on the internet. Anything we think of, any program we think of cutting, we're going to let the public know, hey, we don't like this. We think it's bad. We're going to see what public sentiment is on it, and then President Trump will make a decision." Or let's call him President Biden, whoever. If Biden would have proposed this, I would say, "This is fantastic." And I would say, and people are like, "Oh, well, I haven't seen Elon come out with any Republicans doing anything nefarious. That's mighty strange." Well, maybe I hope he does. I hope he does, and when he does, we'll call those bad actors out too.
Right.
Get all the rats out of this shit. Get our country back.
I don't think he's just like looking for Democrats doing wrong. I think he's just
running an algorithm.
He's going through a book and he's going, "This line means this. This means this. Oh, here we go. This is this."
It's called forensic accounting.
It's not like, "Okay, give me all the books on the Democrats." It's not what he's doing. He's not that kind of person. I don't think.
It's just coming.
I think he's just analytically pushing through the data.
And he just can process. And he can process. I think he can process and connect dots so fast, so much faster than you, me, or anybody else that would be doing this. Like, I would love to be doing that job, and I think I think that'd be something fun to do. But I would still be on like the first line item probably.
Right.
Like trying to connect the dot to where, okay, well, this went over to Politico. Politico donated here.
Yeah, I'm not smart. Like
they've connected so many. You know about the Politico deal, right?
No.
Okay, USAID. This is how it works, and I did a video yesterday about this. This is kind of how the deal works. You set up an NGO or a nonprofit, right? You with me?
I'm with you. I'm reading what Politico is on ChatGPT.
Oh, well, I'm not telling you. We're going to get to that. Politico got $8 million funneled. But this is how it works. You set up a nonprofit.
Right.
I, through USAID, as a senator or congressman, I get you $8 million, right?
Okay.
I'm going to send you the $8 million. You're a nonprofit. You're going to donate $8 million to Politico.
Okay.
So I'm not appropriating funds through Congress to give to Politico.
I'm doing it.
I'm just getting funds approved for USAID, right? You have a nonprofit set up with USAID. I give you the $8 million. You give it to Politico. Politico writes stories for me and against my political enemies. That is how for 64 years the entire thing has been propped up. It's been liberal propaganda from top down. All your newspapers, New York Times, Politico, they were paid in the way that I just explained. Mm-hmm. They're funneled money, and Politico had, you know about their premium subscriptions, right?
Yeah, I'm reading about it right now.
$34,000 per subscription. And the USAID had something like, 800 of those $34,000 subscriptions. Uh-huh. You tell me, let's think about this logically. Let's walk it through to its logic.
Tell me this as I'm a child. Tell me, I know you just said that you give me the money and then I pay the thing and then so like they report the things that negatively affect my
political
opponent.
My political opponent. You just look like an organization.
I'm just the New York Times or whatever.
No, you're just a nonprofit.
Nonprofit.
I'm a senator. You're a nonprofit.
Right.
I get $8 million approved for USAID. Oh, it's approved to go to USAID. USAID's an independent, non-regulated organization. So I pick my favorite charity in USAID, which is Mike Hinkle's nonprofit. I give it to Mike Hinkle. You funnel $8 million. Let's say I give you $10 million. You get $8 million over to Politico. You keep $2 million. That's your part. That's your nonprofit does nothing. Nice. Your nonprofit.
Yeah, I'm riding around in Mercedes.
Your nonprofit
I'm
does
putting
nothing.
$2 million.
You keep the $2 million. You give the $8 million to Politico. Politico comes if they bark back. If they're like, we're not gonna. I have too much integrity for that. I'm not gonna write articles that are damning your opponent and praising you. That's not what a journalist does, right? If they say that, you say, oh, well, it's no problem. I know that your subscriptions are $39 a year, but I noticed that we have 800 subscriptions at $34,000 a piece. Be a shame if those were to be canceled. Because let's think about it. Like, let's walk it to its logical conclusion. What subscription are you getting of a newsletter? Let's say you got Guitar World's, you got to their online annual thing, right? It's
right.
$89, and it's all the guitar information you can have, and some special behind the scenes stuff where you get some lessons by a couple of great players or something, right? Like that's your premium subscription. Okay. What does the $34,000 a year subscription look like? It would have to be the most fantastic newsletter subscription of all time.
Does Zach Wilde show up in my house?
Does he come every day and give me?
Does he come like once a month and show me how to play solos?
So this is what people have to. This is where you have to dig through. It's not just like it can look real. Oh, it's just whatever. It's people moving money, bro. They're buying $34,000 subscriptions, which don't exist, obviously, because no one can buy a $34,000. If they do exist, I want to just ask Politico, hey, if I buy a $34,000, I want to get one of those.
What do I get?
I want to get one of those special government $34,000 subscriptions. What do I get? And they've already released something on this. I think it's something like, they get like first up to the minute news, and as soon as something breaks,
We already get that. It's called the internet.
The internet.
It's called the internet. Oh, wait, Ray. You get a gold pin of an American flag.
Well, I was going to say you probably do have to get some. They send you a Politico coffee mug, but
it's got a gold leaf mug.
The chicanery and fuckery is just it's outrageous. How anyone can't be just outraged over it? They make up these subscriptions. They've lied to you your whole life. Every single, which we already knew. But here's what I knew. I thought the media was just like, here's what I'll say all my life. I thought the media was just like really left-leaning, right? And they just hired a bunch of like-minded people who were left-leaning. And then they hired these people, and those people put their opinions out on the air. That's what I thought was going on.
Right. Let me tell you how stupid I am. Hold on one second. I'm working. Hold on. Give me a second. I'm doing some work. Y'all can watch me work. Here we go. Okay, so what did they reload?
This is a good cut. This is good.
It's a good cut.
Yeah,
this is my life, everyone. This is my life. This is 24/7 running a trucking company. 24/7. So drink Mountain Dew. Okay, so anyway, this is what I thought my entire life is like. You're watching the news as like a kid, and you're like, the news sucks. It's boring.
Which was true.
Which is true. And then, like, you know, your parents are watching the news and blah, blah, blah. And you grow up and you're thinking the news is like, oh, well, this must be true. Everything they're saying, they have integrity.
I thought that
they
till about
have
20.
Integrity and all this stuff. And that's what I thought until I was like in my 20s. And then all the news channels like broke apart into these 24/7 news channels to try and brainwash everybody. You got your Fox News, you got your CNN, you got your
MSNBC,
all this. It was NBC and then Microsoft, MSNBC, and it's like, oh wait, hold on a second. They're trying to get you to watch this all the time, so they're going to sway it to how you feel and what you feel like, and you're not going to get any straight news from anybody.
Well, here's the play though. Here's what should outrage you. What should outrage you is that they took your tax dollars. They appropriate your tax dollars to go into U.S. aid. U.S. aid has these fake nonprofits set up that fund propaganda networks. So you have funded with your own money, with taxpayer dollars, your money that you work for, you have funded a propaganda campaign against your interest for a one world government. It's all true. It's all true. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
It sounds it used to sound wacky, so I wouldn't say this kind of stuff out loud. This is what I thought, but I didn't know about
It's not wacky anymore because it's true.
I didn't know that. I didn't know how to connect all the dots. I just thought, man, this is really fucked up. You're obviously lying, right? There's an obvious agenda here. They're like, or why do they want everybody in a dress? Why do they want everybody feminized? And I had all my theories, right? But there's only so much you can say.
Why is Will Smith's son wearing a house on his head?
Humiliation ritual.
Right, humiliation.
What do you think? Is that what you think?
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's a humiliation ritual.
Yeah, 100%. That was I saw somebody as far as to go to say that like this was such a reach because it's simpler than this. But it's simpler because it's exactly what you said. It's a humiliation ritual to be in the Illuminati or whatever they're going to call it nowadays.
The Illuminati is what it is.
So somebody was like, this looks like one of P. Diddy's houses from when he was like younger, blah, blah, blah. And the house isn't even black. It has like the little turret things on each end and stuff. Yeah. And I was like, lady, you're reaching real hard. That's too deep into it. All it means is, hey, wear this to this event. It's ridiculous, and everybody's going to start talking about you because you're in the Illuminati now, and you're going to do this, and we need everybody to be talking about you. So the only way to do that is wear a house on your head. It's that easy.
Or it's not the Illuminati.
It's that easy.
It's that because I don't know if
it's the music Illuminati or the actor.
It's all the sex cult.
Sex cult.
There's 300,000 missing children. Okay. Mm-hmm. 300 so 3 LSU stadiums full of missing children.
That's crazy.
And we don't know how to look for them or find them or locate them because many of them are born without a birth certificate.
Right.
They're bred for the point of human trafficking. But we found 75,000 in Trump's first week. How is that possible? You're telling me they were looking for them and couldn't find any, and we found 75,000.
Do you think a lot of them were let across the border?
Oh, most of them.
That's
the ones that are missing.
Is that like the thing? Is like you let an influx of children across the border so you can put them in trafficking and stuff like that? Well, and now everybody's mad because the border's getting locked down, and now that whole industry is being chopped off.
Let me tell you how it works.
Yeah.
I'll tell you how that works. So this is how that works. I have a child that I've either stolen or bought off a mother in Mexico, right?
Right.
I've got that child. I'm going to bring it over to America for sex trafficking.
Right.
Under Biden's administration, this is how it would go. I bring that child over. I'm not going to use you as an example because I'm always
yeah.
use you.
Stop! Please stop using my whole name. Please stop using me and my whole name as well. I mean, everybody knows.
Your name's on the show, but I won't use it in this example.
Hold on 1 second.
All right.
Let's talk to Sean real quick.
Talk to Sean real quick.
Hey, Sean, we're doing the podcast right now. What's up, bro?
What's going on, man? Sorry I interrupted your podcast.
You're in the podcast.
You're on there, baby.
You're on air.
Okay, well, let me dial in and see what's going on with it.
I'll call you back.
So, there you go.
It's a wild podcast, babe.
So I've got
people are coming in the door. I got Sean calling me on the phone. We're just putting everybody on. Work's going off. I'm working. The whole thing is crazy. It's just a crazy podcast today. What? What's a? Yeah, it's $100 worth of groceries.
That's more than I thought you'd get for $100. Yeah, the way things are.
This is a bunch of rice.
So, all right, back on track.
Back on track. Serious stuff.
So, I've got the baby, right?
Right.
I take the baby to the border. When I get to the border, there's a guy. Let's call him Juan. We don't know his name.
Yeah.
But
Tommy.
But I bring the baby to the border, and then Tommy. That's fine. Tommy shows up, who is a sex trafficker, and just says he tells them, "I'm here for that baby."
Yeah.
And they say, "Okay."
Hey.
And that's the story.
Yeah.
That's how easy it is. It was that. That's what you did. That's how that is 100% how the system worked. They weren't vetting these people that were taking the children. You would just say, "Oh, yeah, I was here to get that. Yeah, I'm waiting on that girl." And you go and you sign a little waiver that says, "Yeah, I'm picking up Juanita." You sign.
And my name is such and such, which isn't his name.
It doesn't even matter.
Doesn't even matter.
No one's even checking or vetting, and then boom, that kid's gone. 300,000, and nobody speaks up for these children. Like, it's crazy to me. Like, it's the most crazy thing that happens in our. If it was your kid or your grandkid, I just think people would just feel like way different about it.
Yeah, but since they don't put a face to the name, or it's another person from another country,
it breaks me up every time.
Nobody cares.
It makes me so mad. Like, I would be down.
So make you want to? Do we need to we need to go down to the border and start whipping ass? Is that
they're doing that already?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's happening right now, right? But it's not. Look, it puts I hate for it to put a stink on like all immigrants or that's when. And the mood shifts. It can shift very far right, very fast, and get kind of ugly.
Right.
Where it's like everyone, it's like people that have been legal for 30 years, and people are just completely racist against them, and I hate that, and that's gross too.
My heart goes out to them.
Yeah, for sure. for sure, it does.
Oh God!
But you got to stop this. You have to stop this criminal enterprise, and somebody has to
It has to be stopped.
But speaking of standing up for the children, you heard Pam Bondi, what she's about to do, right?
No.
She already did.
No, tell me.
She said, release the Epstein files. She ordered them released.
Hey, wait, hold on a second. When are we getting the JFK files being released? That's like coming up right now. It's the 6th.
They were already supposed to be released, but they had to,
already.
They got
the 8th now.
They're gonna go through. They're gonna redact all the good.
They're gonna go through, and everything's gonna be like blacked out. Like they're gonna black out things with a marker. Every time they release something, there's like this black marker.
Yeah, I had some buddies. They're like, I was so excited. I was texting them about it, and they're like, it's not going to be anything. They're real pragmatic, and they don't ever believe anything. And they're like, it's not going to be anything. And I'm like, hey, and then I'm like, probably right. It is going to be. But,
are you talking about our lawyer friends?
My lawyer, yeah, our
lawyer friends.
Yeah, that's,
lawyer friends. They're like, no, that's not going to be. Lawyer friends. They go, they're not going to tell you. They're going to be like, so and so did black line. Our lawyer friends.
It's supposed to be the MLK stuff too, which is just going to. The MLK stuff really looks like it just tarnishes MLK.
Does it really?
Oh man, you don't know about all. See, I've known for a long time. You don't know about all the orgies and gay orgies.
No.
Oh, he was. Yeah, he was.
Oh my God, are you serious?
He. You'll see when it comes out. But
it sounds like some Diddy level stuff.
It wasn't Diddy level because it wasn't children or anything. But he was. But MLK.
Diddy was children stuff. I thought that was like party stuff.
Dude,
where it was just like
you sat right there.
Yeah, Diddy was children
ago, and I explained the whole thing about children. I did like an hour,
Really?
like monologue on it.
Oh my god!
I
don't
even
know.
talked about the.
I must have blocked it out. It's so disturbing. It's so disturbing.
Hold on, I even talked.
I thought it was just like parties where like people were getting. Oh no, the parties with the children. I got you.
I talked about party favors on the table.
Yeah,
remember?
you're right. Yeah.
These were kids.
And we got kicked off of TikTok for it.
Yeah. These were kids.
That's right. We got kicked off of TikTok for it.
Jay-Z is currently being sued for raping that 13-year-old
Oof.
with Diddy.
Why are these guys? These guys are like so rich and like everybody loved them, and yet they're raping 13-year-olds. That's fucking stupid, man.
9-year-olds too. 10-year-olds
That's dumb. Don't they want to bang some hot ladies that are like they're age appropriate? Because they could. Anybody they wanted. Anybody they wanted.
I think it's not about that.
It's a power thing,
totally
or it's like I can do whatever I want thing.
Well, I think when you figure out that it's a manipulation tactic to get what you want. It's a blackmail tactic to get
or it's like, yeah, I know all of this stuff I can do. Any woman I want to have sex with, I can have sex with. But I want a 12-year-old? That's so fucked up. It's so dumb. And like it's so weird to me. That's messed up.
It is about saying I can do anything in the world and nobody can stop me.
Oof.
I am above the law.
Somebody's going to stop
And plus
you.
there's obviously like I don't get it and you don't get it. And here's the thing. Everybody we know doesn't get it, but somebody gets it. Somebody's buying these 300,000 children. Somebody's taking them to
Christ. That's weird. That's so fucked up. I want to be Batman.
Somebody's taking them to the
island. It makes me want to be Batman.
Somebody's taking them to the island.
Kill these people.
Yes, but somebody's putting them under tunnels. Somebody's putting them in cargo containers. Somebody's paying top dollar to get them, right? So it's not like we think like, oh, that's so crazy.
Why isn't there like a huge task force on that?
There should be like immediately.
There should be a huge task force that all they do is go after this shit. And the reason why I don't think there is because all of the people that are involved in it, it's so much money. It's the top tier people of our planet are involved in it.
Well, now you're getting it. Or you've had it, but now hopefully everybody's got to get that understanding, right? And once everybody
that's fucked up because they're this like people like you're born into this world and your only life is you get shoved in a cargo container and sent to an island to where like gross old dudes have sex with you and you're young, you're a kid. That's fucked up. And there needs to be a whole like SEAL Team 69 to take care of this bullshit.
Some are murdered in child sacrifice.
Yeah, right.
Facts.
Yeah. It's messed up.
That's
crazy. That is so disturbing to me.
Do you know if you get
it makes me so mad.
Do you know if you buy an infant or a toddler, that's like top dollar. That costs you.
That's wild.
It is top dollar for that.
I know we've read that, and I know that what is there evidence? Is there evidence of it?
Evidence of it?
Is there evidence of it?
Dude,
I don't know. Have I seen evidence of it?
Mike, Ghislaine Maxwell's in jail. The whole country's in an uproar because they won't release the Epstein files that she sex trafficked and was found guilty of sex trafficking. Epstein was found guilty of sex trafficking.
It's like it's like one of those things that it's so egregious.
But you're saying
it's so egregious that it's like, why isn't this on the news like every day? Why isn't it on the news every day?
Oh, I know. I agree.
Why?
Because it involves your
high. It's so egregious.
That's what I was saying. That's what started this whole conversation.
And if you talk about it, it almost has a stigma on it that if you like talk about it too much, it's like, well, why are you talking about it so much? It's like got a weird ass motherfucking stigma on it.
Because it matters. It matters that these people are doing this to children and not enough. Like we're more outraged about and if you just look at what they were trying to do, they were doing this trans push to the whole world.
Right.
That's what was going on. Anybody that denies it is I don't know what world they're living in.
Right.
Where they were trying to make it seem normal that men compete in women's sports, normal that drag queens show up to kindergarten and read. Like, At first I thought this is right wingers being crazy, right? I was like, drag queens aren't going to school. But did come to find out, lo and behold, they really were showing up in drag and reading to children. Like everything I would be like, for a while where the pragmatic part of my brain would be like, that's just crazy. Some people are just trans. Well, then it starts being that all we're talking about is trans. Everybody, it's like this much of the population.
Right.
And I want them to feel just as much of the population as anybody else.
Right.
I just don't have to participate in whatever thing, whatever you think's going on, you have mental issues, and I don't have to pretend to understand it. I can just say, if you want to be called Shelly, I'll call you Shelly.
Right.
And let's just end it there.
Right. I don't have anything against what you want to do with your life. That's fine. Just don't come banging on my door and tell me,
I don't need it paraded around.
I don't need it.
I don't need a constant. If it's such a small part of the population, then we'll just let it be like it
Yeah.
was. Let it be like what it was.
Look, we live in Ruston, Louisiana. It's not really a problem here. It's not a big problem here.
It's not a big problem.
Zero problem.
It's not a problem anywhere.
Zero problem.
It's not a problem anywhere. It wasn't a problem anywhere.
It's not a problem at all.
The problem became it is. You have. It's no more. It's
not
just,
here.
But I'm saying
Not here
when you
it's
say
not.
it's not.
Not here. It's not.
Well,
is it a problem?
But why aren't we dealing with the core issue? Like, we don't treat people that are schizophrenic. Like, we don't try to be like, well, he's just schizophrenic. Just amuse him. Just talk like. We try to treat them.
Should we have
them.
like a schizophrenic hour at kindergarten schools where the schizophrenics get to read books to kids?
But you treat them right. Right? You treat them. You try
right.
to
you treat them.
We don't say all of a sudden.
Look, if you're a dude and you want to be a woman, fine.
Fine.
If you're a woman and you want to be a dude, fine. I don't care about that. Whatever. You're probably a cool person to hang out with. It's really interesting and different.
I don't have to believe it.
But I don't have to, like, if you're in a dress and you're obviously a dude and I'm like, hey, man, what's up? And you're like, I'm not a ma'am. I'm a lady. I'm like, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll respect it to that level.
Sorry.
Right? That's as far as I want to go. But
Go ahead.
When you try to make it transphobic if you don't support it or I don't have to support it.
I don't have to support shit.
Just like
I don't support anything almost. Anything about anything. Why would I support that?
Exactly. Like, I'm fine with you. Everybody has equal rights. Everybody has. Nobody's coming to hunt you down or anything.
Listen, if you show up for a job, let's say you go,
and they complain.
You want to show up for a job, and you want to get a job somewhere, and you're a wreck. You're just a mess. Let's say you're a normal dude, and you show up and your shirt's ripped open, and you smell bad, and you look crazy. You're not gonna get the job. If you show up as a man in a dress with makeup on and shit, and you're like, I want to listen up, everybody. I want to give Chick-fil-A stuff to people in line. They're gonna be like, fuck you, get out of here. I'm gonna hire this other person.
But that's exactly right.
Right.
But for 4 years, people were forced. They were forced. Let's call it what it
to let the train wrecks.
They were forced
get the jobs.
Yeah, let's put them everywhere. Let's put them the head of every department. It's ridiculous.
They're just train wrecks. They're just train wrecks. I look at it. I don't look at it as like a gender blah 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 whatever.
Gender dysphoria.
Some people are just train wrecks, and you're like, I'm not hiring this train wreck. Oh well, it's a man pretending to be a lady who's black, and they're also this and they're blah. It's like, no, that person. Why would I hire somebody at my that it's going to do a terrible job and turn people off? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
If they're and some of look, if you've transitioned enough, I agree with what you're saying. If you've transitioned enough where you really look like a woman and you really present yourself as a woman, you might be able to pull it off and get a job somewhere.
And that's fine.
That's fine. But like, if you got to know if you're 6'1", 215, broad shoulders.
You got a beard.
You got a beard.
Full beard.
And you put some red lipstick on.
I want to watch your kids.
You may think that everyone's supposed to treat you normal,
right?
And it's fine for you
to
believe that. They're not.
They're not going to treat you normal.
They're not going to say. They're going to whisper when you walk out the room.
I'm definitely going to hang out with you if you want to hang out and have a couple of beers and get in your brain. I'm definitely going to do that. But I don't need you selling like Camaros for me.
And that's what
that would just not be right. That would fuck it all up.
That's what kind of the whole DEI dissolving. Right. That's what that is for. So to just stop. Did you see the DNC? Tell me you saw the DNC where they're trying to get the new chair people. Have you seen that, the voting thing, or where they're dancing?
No.
Oh my God, you got to see it. But
what are we talking about?
Well, you could just pull it up, pull up DNC selecting chairs, and you can just watch it. It's hard to. It seems like a Saturday Night Live skit. I'm not kidding you. This is it.
Selecting what?
DNC chair selection. They're trying to get who's going to head up the organizations or whatever. I hope they had the actual the interview. Here we go. Let me say. Hold up. No.
We should have the plugins.
No. Right here. Turn it up.
Well, nobody can see it.
Oh yeah, but I want you to hear it.
Hold on one second.
Maybe they can hear it. Turn it all the way up.
Ken Martin, 246.5
Oh, hold up.
votes.
That-
Ben Wickler, 100.
Is this what you're talking about?
No, it's not going to be the. I'll have to just explain it. People out there know what I'm talking about. So he goes through talking to the votes, and he's like, "Okay, we're going to do our voting now." And when you have to do your vote, he goes, "We have to have 2 selections of one male, one female, and then we have to have one non-binary selection." So like they're making these decisions. They're making these decisions on who's going to be in leadership, and they're forcing you to you have to select a man and a woman. I couldn't just say, well, the 2 women are better.
Right.
No. You got to have a man and a woman.
Man and a woman.
But I can't just have man and women representing them. So you got to have a non-binary also on there, even if there's not one. And then you got to have a black one in there, and you got to have a lesbian one, even if they're completely not qualified. The Democratic Party got so off base, so off the rails. I wonder if they can recover. I really do. Do you think they can recover from what's going on
I don't
right
think they're recovering 4 years. I think JD Vance might be our next president.
God, I hope so.
That would be great.
He's a dude, man. I like
He's
that.
awesome.
He can.
I think he'd be our next president.
You know what I love most about this is what JD just has what I wish Trump had more of. You just can't. Couth, first of all. Intellect on a different. Now Trump has great intellect.
He's younger too. And he's plugged into like a generation
40.
underneath.
40.
He's 40. I'm 45 years old. He's 40.
Well, you've reached
and
the
he's
age
the
where
vice
you've reached the age where
crazy.
Anybody doing anything
That's
can be younger
awesome.
than you, right? Like,
I know. I have reached that age. I've realized that I'm gonna kill myself.
It used to be. Now look, when you're
kill myself.
when you're like 30, that's like kind of the first time you start being like, wait a
Oh,
minute,
wait.
that head coach is younger than me. But when you get 45,
45.
people can start having any job.
I'm gonna be
being younger than-
46 this year. This month.
Yeah.
And I grew up my entire life. I grew up me being the youngest person in the room for a long time, longer than most probably.
Yeah.
I worked for like our trucking company and stuff, and everybody was older than me, and I was always the youngest person in the room. I joined the Moose Club in Griffin, Georgia, and when I was 35 years old, and I was the youngest person at the Moose Club.
Yeah. The Moose Club's not a place for 30-somethings. That's like the
Well, it was like they had a bar, and it was like cheaper to drink there, so I joined
Yeah.
the Moose Club. But at 35
And
years
you probably
old,
like talking.
I'm the youngest
I
guy
like
at the
talking to
Moose.
50-year-olds when I was 35. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. The youngest guy at the Moose Club at 35.
So now you feel like you've kind of put yourself in a place where you just feel like you're always young because you're like, the vice president's younger than me. Like, well, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I'm like, the vice president's younger than me? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, I'm supposed to be the youngest guy in the room.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Not anymore. I'm old as shit now. This is what's funny.
You're older than Archie Bunker was when All in the Family started.
Oh, I know. Like, hey, babe, what was the thing the other day where
Hey, Mav.
remember when it was something about being this age, something about being in your 40s. What was it? I'm ruining this. Remember, it was like, oh fuck, I can't remember. Anyway, I will say this: Murtaugh, when he was in, what are those movies with Lethal Weapon movies? He was 40 years old when he was saying, "I'm too old for this shit."
Yeah.
And I'm 46 this
Well, you
month.
are 40's definitely when you start feeling like I'm too old for this shit.
I will tell you this: when I started like really working out and doing like all this stuff at 35 years old, I was a beast. 35.
Were you 35 when you started, or that's when you were like kind of
No, that's when I got super serious. 34, 33, 34, 35 until I was 40. For like 6 years, I was in the gym every day, and I was putting up weight. I got huge. I got very large.
We need to get back serious. I got
And
like that about 3 years ago. We need to get serious again. Now I'm still working out.
I'm working out, but I'm not doing as much weight and stuff. I'm just doing it kind of.
You're older. You can't. I don't think we can anymore. To be honest.
I can't do that kind of weight. But I will tell you this: at 35 years old, I felt like I could run through a wall. I felt like I could run through a
like
wall.
peak male
I felt like I
warrior
could
age.
grab somebody and just like fuck them up. You know what I mean?
Peak male warrior
And
age.
10 years later, I don't feel that way anymore.
Dude,
I don't feel that
That's
way.
the amount of time from second grade till graduation. Think how
Right.
different you were as a college freshman than a second grader. So
But
a lot happens.
but what I'm
a lot
saying
happens.
is like every day I was up at 5 a.m. and I was at the gym and I work out for 2 hours and I felt like a beast. I'm like warming up with 225.
I know we just got to get that. We
at
just got
36 years old.
we just got to get that back in the. We just got to get that.
You can't get it back.
No,
You
maybe
can't
not the
get it
strength.
back.
But we just got to get that
Strength.
that motivation to. I'm working out like 3 times a week. You know, and it's not like I was working out like I was going hard. Now I go get some stuff done. Right.
I
Like,
just
go
get my
move
heart.
some-
I get my heart rate up. I do like a whole body workout every day. But the other thing on top of that is like I've said this before, is when I'm like not eating and I'm like losing weight, which I've lost a bunch of weight. As soon as I start working out and putting weights up, I start gaining weight again.
But it's
Immediately.
but it's muscle.
Immediately.
But hell, it's okay. Like I don't mind being 230 if I'm jacked. But when I'm like, and I'm not 230 right now, but I'm like 222, which
I'm
is a little heavy.
245 right now. I've gained 10 pounds.
You were 230 something last time
I
we did
know.
a podcast 3 weeks ago.
I know. There's a lot of junk food in the house, by the way.
That's what I was doing. Oreos
There's a lot of
Oreos
junk
did it
food.
to me. But we'll be slimmer by the next episode.
I'm gonna hit it hard. Listen to me. I'm gonna hit it hard. I'm like I love running. It's just hard to get to where I like to run. I like to run on Tech Track over here, but you got to get up at like 5, 6 o'clock to run, or there's like teams out there, and you can't go run, or you run at like 9:30 at night. So like and by that time I've already had a few drinks, and I'm not gonna go run after I've had a couple of drinks. I mean, that's not gonna happen.
You cut your drinking down. I see you're drinking Trulies. If you cut drinking down, you'll cut some of that fat out.
These are Truly's Unrulies, bro.
What are Truly Unrulies?
Truly Unruly
They
is
make you wild?
better than the regular Trulies, apparently.
More alcohol or something?
I guess. I don't know. I just really like it.
Yeah, but you give that you're still looking good, but at 230 you were looking you must because you lost so much weight you started to be like I could cheat a little bit. I did the same when I got down to 205. I was like, I
cheated a little bit.
I'm looking good.
Yeah, I cheated a little bit. I need to really focus on what I'm eating. That's the problem.
Diet's a big part of it, but we'll figure it out.
It's like 90% of it.
I'd say so.
It's like 90%.
If you want to fit in your pants better, diet's 90% of it. Yeah.
All right, peace out, everybody. We're done.
Yeah, we'll holler at y'all next week. Later.
Yep.